Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to video number 104 in our TillesTells Stories for Saturday Night group. I adapted this story from the book Hasidic Gems by Tuvia Litzman, who heard it from Rabbi Gorevich, who's in the story. Its title is One Mezuzah, Two Souls. When Perla Cohen took her first steps towards becoming closer to Judaism in 1970 approximately, she was a student of economy at the University of Lyon. She joined one of the classes that Rabbi Shmuel Gorevich, the Shliach of the Lubavitch Rebbe in Lyon, France, along with his brother Shalom, that he held on campus once a week along with a few other girl students. Also, since her family lived out of town, she was frequently invited to stay for Shabbat in the house of the Gorevich family, and over a period of time she developed a strong and close relationship with Mrs. Gorevich. On the other hand, she progressed only slowly in becoming closer to fulfilling the commandments. Despite the numerous study sessions in which she participated, each time a long period passed between committing herself to keep one mitzvah and taking another upon itself. Finally, the time came for putting up a mezuzah on the door of her first-floor studio. Responding to the explicit request of Mrs. Gorevich, she agreed to attach one to the entrance of her apartment. However, a few weeks later, Perla decided to take it down. Some girlfriends of hers who visited her warned her that a Jewish student living alone in a French town, announcing to everybody by means of a mezuzah on a doorpost that she is Jewish, is taking a big risk in these days. In those days, how about in these days, even more of a risk. Those frightening warnings had their effect on her, and one day she took away the security risk from the entrance to her apartment. About 2 weeks later, she found a note from the post office on her front door. The note stated that a package had arrived for her, but since she was not at home, the package had been delivered to left in the care of the neighbor upstairs on the 5th floor. She went upstairs, and the neighbor, a man in his 70s, said that he had just been passing by her floor, and he noticed that the postman did not find her at home, and so he agreed to take the parcel for her. He handed the man handed her the package, and when she thanked him and turned to leave, he suddenly said to her, "Shalom." She asked him in a surprised tone, "Are you Jewish?" "Yes," answered the neighbor, "and I'd like to ask you something. Why did you take down the mezuzah on your front door 2 weeks ago?" When she started while trying to explain to him the security risk, he said that he wished to tell her something. "I'm a Jewish man who lost my entire family in the Holocaust, my wife and my children. Since then, I've been running away from my Judaism as much as possible. No Yom Kippur, no kosher food, no observance of any commandment. I look for a place to live situated as far as possible from Jews in order not to see their faces. About a month ago, the elevator was out of order, and on that day I had to climb the staircase by foot. When I came to the first floor, I suddenly saw a door with a mezuzah affixed to its doorpost. The last time I saw a mezuzah was 30 years ago, and the sight suddenly took me back to my past. Memories began to flood my mind. I stood there for half an hour, touching the mezuzah and unable to control my tears. Since then, I've stopped using the elevator. Every day I descend and ascend the staircase to my apartment by foot, so that I may stand in front of the mezuzah for a while, caress it, and delve into my thoughts. I felt so strongly that this is the only thing that connects me to Judaism, to my past. Therefore, I was so shocked and disappointed when 2 weeks later I no longer found your mezuzah and my Judaism, to which I have so longed to return with a full heart." That day, 2 Jewish souls happily joined the Hasidic community in Rabbi Gorevich's house in Lyon. The first was Perla Cohen, who later established a magnificent Hasidic home together with her husband, another young Baal Tshuva. The second was Mr. Avraham Lundert, a Jewish man aged 70, who began a new life in the merit of a mezuzah. Shavua Tov, everyone, and since we're now exactly 6 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, the time when we start blessing each other for the new year, I would like to bless everybody with a Ketiva Katima Tova, L'Shana Tova Matuka. That is, everybody should be inscribed and sealed for a good, sweet, healthy, blessed year 5783.